Ah, we're live. Hi, everybody, and welcome to tutorial number 2. This is Steph K. If you don't know me, I am a professional makeup artist, and I'm offering you a little series of free tutorials just to keep us all busy and give something back during this whole corona nonsense. Now, what we're going to do today, and I'm going to start sort of quickening the pace of the tutorials a little bit. And I think that we're going to start focusing on just maybe one area of the face, or, answering a certain question, just so that I don't drone on too long and you have to watch, a whole 1 hour video about something that, isn't of interest to you. So I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds. Hi, Mom. Hi, Jen. How are you? This is me with bald eyes. I had to do a little bit of mascara so that I didn't look completely dead. So today, what I'm going to do, so these are all going to have sort of a bit of a format to them, so that I'm going to try to reduce these guys to no more than a half hour, so that it's a little bit, hi sunshine, oh sorry, oh my gosh, I'm so distracted, so that you can easily just go back to them if there's an area of them that you want to watch. Hi, Bobby, I love you. Oh my God, I miss my little Sephora crew. So I'm just going to take a couple of seconds here and just let a couple of people hop on. But then again, you can always, come back to these things. Hi, Christy. Oh, that's my new little cousin. She's got some great artwork on her. Oh, sorry, Christy, I'm like calling you out on your artwork, but I'm just saying, hey, Leslie, how are you? Oh my goodness. And you know what's so fun? As I'm greeting you, your comments are going up over my face, so I can't see what I'm doing. Oh my God. And we've got someone from Holland here. How are you? You crazy man, you. I can't help you, Leon. I mean, I'm not a miracle worker. Oh, sorry. Inside. So in a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe you guys to the side. I know that's kind of mean, but or what I'll do is I'll just have your comments going lower. So where are we now? Let's get started, okay? Because I know I can talk. And hi, Michelle. Hi, Mary. You know what this feels like as I'm greeting you? I feel like I'm on the romper room from. Never mind. If you are a certain age, you won't know the romper room. But I'm like greeting you all as you come on. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on simple eye looks using just one product, right? So this eye is going to be done with an eyeliner. This side is going to be done with just powder, okay? Hola, Mary. Nice to see you too. Okay, so what I'm going to start by doing is just going over a couple of different types of eyeliners, just because I know when you go into a makeup store, it can kind of be overwhelming to know what kind of product to pick. And also depending on the kind of look you're trying to create or how advanced you are with doing your eyes. So let's just do a real quick review right now of, first of all, with eyeliners, okay? And before we get started, I would have assumed you have prepped your face. So you've done a cleanse on your face and you've patted a little bit of eyeliner just around the orbital bone, and allowing that to sink in, because you want the eyes to look really refreshed and not dehydrated. Because when you do any kind of eye makeup, if your eyes are dehydrated, then the makeup's going to bounce along. It's not going to look nice. You can have dry skin over your eyes. That's just crusty. That's not nice looking. Okay, so let's get started. In terms of eyeliners, I'm going to go from sort of easiest to work with harder to work with, okay? And let's just get started. So the first would be something like a kohl pencil, K-O-H-L, not coal, not like the railroad coal. Kohl, K-O-H-L, okay? Now, for the most part, you'll find that these guys can be sharpened, and they're very easy to work with. When you are looking at the kohl pencils, just, I don't know, they should have a color payoff right away when you glide them. Do you ever notice that when you take a pencil and you glide it along your hand and the color doesn't come off, it's either old, it's dried up, or that product is not gonna, it's gonna pull on your skin and it's gonna be harder to work with. So just make sure it's a half decent quality, and when you pull it along, the color comes off easily. So kohl is number one, and that is very, very easy to work with. Sorry, a bit of a sniffle. Okay, let's move to the next. All right, so this, like a cream or a sort of a gel eyeliner, are pretty easy to work with as well. So here's a sample of one. This is a little Arbonne one. Often with these guys, you don't sharpen them, you twist them up from their bums. I'm going to use language that probably people don't use. I don't care. This is Steph K here. I just call it. So they twist up from their bum. Watch. Ready? Let's go all YouTube-y. They twist up, they twist down. And what a lot of people don't know is in their bums, they actually have a sharpener. What you need to do with these guys, sharpen them up high enough, gently place the sharpener on top, twist it, take it off, roll it back down, and then you can actually get a point. If you just leave it kind of blunt looking like this and you put the sharpener, it's no good. These ones glide very easily as well, right? This is a nice product. You just like look at the payoff of that second line. That is from this guy, right? So a nice creamy sort of gel eyeliner, moves very nicely and pretty easy to work with as well. Okay. And I would say that the wear of this guy is going to be longer than the kohl one. Then moving to the next, we get into sort of liquid eyeliners. Now, liquid eyeliners are fantastic. And you're going to notice for the most part, like look at the tip on the end. Often they'll have either like a felt tip and it's very rigid, or they're going to have actually brushes. So the brush can glide along really nicely along the eye line. The felt tip, it's a little bit more rigid and it often will, you can get a stronger payout more quickly, I find. That's just me with the sponge tip. And then you would just sort of glide those along. I'm not going to do liquid eyeliner today. I want to keep this really, really simple, okay? But here's a sample of a liquid eyeliner, right? So they'll just, can you see that? This one has a little bit of a sponge tip. This is Arbonne's liquid eyeliner. And it does a very nice job as well. But with liquid, it's less forgiving. Once you get that on there, what I find often happens with the liquid is you don't get it close enough to the lash line, so you got a floating line, and it kind of looks special. Sorry, it's just not good. And then you might find other like some of these you'll find in the makeup store. Some of these really big, thick eyeliners. These are fun if you want to create more dramatic looks. They're often okay, these guys are both waterproof. All right. Now, here's the thing about if you ever use a waterproof eyeliner, got to be careful. So here's one, like this one. This one is made for the waterline. It's an Urban Decay. You can also use a kohl in the waterline and with a little tap of powder. That works too. But anything that considers itself waterproof, don't ever do, one line and another line and then try to blend it afterwards, because what happens is right after you put that line on, it starts to set and then you're going to get this fixed line and you won't be able to move it, and it's a disaster. So if you're going to go with anything called waterproof, they're great products, but you got to work quickly, decisively, know where you're going to place it and get moving with it, or else you won't be happy with it. Okay, so quick review: the kohl eyeliners, the sort of gel or creamy eyeliners, the what do you call it, liquid eyeliners, and then these like waterproof numbers that are all quite good. Okay, so the other thing we can do is we can just use eyeshadow to create a complete eye look. And, I'm going to show you a technique that it's going to make it look like you have an eyeliner. We don't all have the same shape of eye. We don't all have the same amount of lid space, right? So it can be difficult to see eyeliner. If you have a lid that is sort of fallen, right, like a hooded lid, means your lid is fallen, you might think, well, I can't wear eyeliner, period. And that would be a different technique in which we would actually take the eyeliner and we would push it right through the lashes. You might hear it called tight lining, but what it does, it helps emphasize the eyeline and it helps emphasize the eyelashes. Okay, so let's get started. So this is me with my bald eyeballs. I did a little bit of mascara, which you can't even see it anyways, but anyway, I'm going to be a little bit up in your face. Now, there's one special thing that I like to use so that I can see what I'm doing. Number one, here we are again in natural light, right? But it's this. It's one of these mirrors that, it magnifies so you can get up close, okay? It's your best friend. Now, one side, like it magnetizes you by like 20 times, and, don't do that. Nobody needs to see what they look like magnified 20 times. We all want to leave the house with a spring in our step and feeling good about ourselves. Never mind that 20 times one. Just do the other one that allows you to see what you're doing. Okay, that's good. That makes us all happy. All right, so let's start. Okay, so hi, Carrie. Okay, hi, Carrie and Kara. You guys are back down. There's Cindy. Okay, so people that are doing eyeliner, or maybe you've done both, you little rascals. Perhaps you've decided to pick an eyeliner. I'm going to take a kohl today, okay, a kohl eyeliner, like I said. And then, so this eye, we're going to focus on a kohl eyeliner right now. And then we're going to do a similar look with eyeshadow on this side, okay? Now, one thing we keep in mind, if you go all the way around your eye, it's going to emphasize whatever type of eye shape you have right away because you've just outlined it, but it can also make the eye look smaller, okay? Sometimes people will just do the eyeliner on the lower lid. That looks a bit crazy, okay? That looks just crazy. If I were going to do one thing, so I said you can only do one line, it'd be the upper, not the lower. Okay, so what we're going to start by doing, all right, and I hope I'm close enough because I don't need you looking at my pores and my nostrils, but I'm trying to get close enough you can see what I'm doing. So are we good? Can you give me a thumbs up? Like, let me know if you can, is this close enough, right? Because like, I don't need to be sitting in your lap. That's just weird. So what we're going to do with the kohl, make sure it's sharpened. Okay, first of all, it's got to be sharpened. Don't talk to me about Carolyn Chapman. I hope you have a new eyeliner. Good Lord help me. Okay, so what we're going to do is generally, if you were to take your eyeliner, right, and just go right along. So what I do is I'm actually going to lift. I have to look over here in the mirror. I have to lift, and then I'm going to push the eyeliner right along the lash line, right. So can you see that? Right along the lash line. This is just for an everyday kind of look, right? But what will happen is it's just going to emphasize just the shape of the eye and make the eyes pop a little bit more. Now, where did I start? I didn't start right down here, okay? Because it's going to kind of make the eye kind of slope downward. I'm taking a step about maybe at the 3/4 mark. This line, and notice how I'm holding the pencil. I'm not going directly into the eye. I'm going at an angle, right? So that it's softer on the eye. You're not pulling. Okay, here's another thing. I'm not doing this and pulling. I know it's easier to get the color in there, but once you release it, you're going to notice that it looks super thick and probably really bumpy. So what we're trying to learn to do, right, is put eyeliner on without stretching our skin. Okay, if you feel like you just want to hold your hand by the side just for stability, right, so you don't feel like, you're just wandering around, do that, but try it without pulling your skin. Okay, so I'm going to hold my pencil on its side, and I'm going to go in, okay, take a step in to about, like about a quarter of the way in, okay, and then go from thinner. So you're either going to go right along the lash line and be done with it, and just to help pop the lashes. If you want to go for a little bit more emphasis or drama with me, what I'm ultimately trying to do, right, is to create the illusion of my eyes going up and out. I want more of a lift, right? I don't want my eyeliner to fall downwards, okay? Now, I will do this in 1 second. Where do I stop the eyeliner? So we're going to take a quarter of a step in. We're going to drag it right along the lash line, okay, really softly, and we're going to stop. Now, imagine your lower lid, okay? Imagine it continuing upward, okay? See this imaginary line that's being created? What I'm doing is I'm following my lower lash line and going upwards to create an imaginary line, and it kind of stops where my eyebrow should also stop. That imaginary line, you do not want your eyeliner to fall below that because it starts to drag the eyes down, and you're going to look sad or tired, or you're going to look older, because we want everything to be going in an upward motion. You don't call it a face down, you call it a face lift, right? Okay, so let's go. I'm going to just take this, and I am just dragging it along on its side, right into the lash line. And you know what? If you make a mistake, so what I do is I drag along this way, and then it gets a little awkward as I get toward the end, and then I will take and then I'll just pick it up and go in that direction just to connect it, okay? So dragging the kohl pencil right along the lash line, and look closely. The reason I like these mirrors is I can get really close and say, is my eyeliner floating? You don't want that, right? And you can like push it right into the lashes to make sure it's not floating. And go along. And then when you get to the end, remember where we're stopping. We don't want it to drag down. Okay, look at, can you see that? Okay, that's just a kohl pencil. So notice I didn't drop it. Maybe I should drop it and then you can see how yicky that looks. But a lot of people think that a kohl pencil won't give enough payout, but like you can already see how my eye is popping, right? So, you know, you could say, hey, there, good, I feel like I'm done. And then you could add, you know, some mascara and be done with it. You know, like do your brow and then but all I've done is emphasize the upper eye. Okay, so stay with me here because like I'm going to start to build this out and make it a little bit more dramatic, okay? Now, a lot of people say, I'm not going to put any eyeliner on the lower eye, but I sort of disagree with that because I'm not going to go all the way across, but what I just did is I did a thinner line. I went from thinner to slightly thicker, right, towards my outer eye. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that side of the pencil, right? Now, I'm not going on top of, people call this a water line, just the rim of your eye. Let's not get too fancy. The rim of your eye, okay? I'm going to take the pencil and I'm just going to go on the outer very faintly, right? And I'm just going to pull it just a little bit and then fade it. Okay? So, again, just going very softly. I'm not going directly into the eye. I just took it and I dragged it from the corner, a little bit thinner as I go towards the center of the eye, and then I faded it. Did not go all the way across. Now, can you already see how this eye is starting to pop and open? Now, because this area has been left more open, and it appears more open because the light can come in. Dark lines are going to close, and anywhere where you leave a gap in your eyeliner, it's going to open the eye more, right? There's different techniques. You could even take a little bit of eyeliner here and fade it here and leave a little bit open in the middle. Of course, that's going to create the eye looking more round or more open. Theoretically, we're trying to create a beautiful almond upward tilt shape eye because that's supposed to be sort of the desired eye look, right? It's more pleasing to the eye. Whatever you're pleased with looking at, create it, okay? So, now, if you find that you've gone too heavy with your eyeliner, you can always just soften it. Like, just take a brush. Like, take something like, you can do like a slanted brush. Let me show you one of those guys. Like, just something slanted like that, okay? And I can just go and I can go, wow, I feel like I went too heavy on the lower, and I'm just going to soften it. Just go right over top of that line and just soften it, okay? Soften it, soften it, soften it, okay? So how does that look? Do you think that's achievable? Yay? It's good, simple. Can you see a difference between my two eyeballs? Anyone? Anyone? I'm joking. Doesn't matter. So that can be a completed eye look. Throw on your mascara and there you go. That was done with black, right? Because I've got dark hair. You could do the same thing with a plum. Plum looks great if you have like a hazel eye or a green eye, or you can do it with dark brown, okay? So let's start to build this eye up a little bit more. So this is your day look with just a little bit of emphasis on the lower, just to make it pop. If you put your eye makeup on the rims of your eyes, it can close the eye, so you got to be a little bit careful, but it can make it look quite dramatic. Aw, thanks, Kelly. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to start to just build up this eyeliner, starting on the outside. I'm just gonna make it a little bit thicker, and I'm gonna start to make my eye look bigger, okay? And I kind of have googly eyes to begin with, and if you don't, this can still work for you if you want to have googly eyes like me. So I'm gonna go to the corner, right? And I'm just going to color right over top. And you're going to watch the magic. Now, so this thinner part, I'm just going to kind of leave that to be thinner. And I'm going to build my eye, build it up like this. So thinner to thicker, right? I'm going to build this outer part. Tell me if you are able to keep up with what I'm doing as well. Because I don't know, like what y'all doing there? Woo! Never mind. Look at that, right? Already it's more built up and looking more dramatic. And you can see that I've created a bigger looking eye, and I'm just using eyeliner, okay? Now, I'll build it up just a little bit more, but then I'm just going to use a brush, and I'm going to just start to soften it and smooth it. And it almost starts to look a little bit smoky eye-like, right? All right, I'm going to check. Is anybody... Hi, Daryl. I hope I can help you with your eye makeup, love. Okay, so let's just take a brush. Now, when we get to like, there are so many different brushes we can use, but you see how this one is kind of smaller? Do you want me to do YouTube stuff? Here. Da, 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 da. Does that help you? It's really small. I love having tiny eye brushes to use in the eye area because then I can get really precise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start to soften that line. Softening it, right? And I'm actually drawing it upwards and softening it as I do it. This is just kohl for anybody that's joined us late. Just soft, soft, soft. And I'm literally just moving it upwards into the eye. Okay? Okay. And don't worry. I remember when I was getting married a million years ago, the makeup artist said to me, it's just makeup. There. See how it's beautiful almond shape. Now, if I want to just continue to really emphasize that, I can sort of connect that lower, right? Watch, I'm going to connect, and I'm going to go in this direction and keep building that edge out, right? Ain't that pretty? So, stage one would just be to do, starting a 1/4 inch, just a thin line right across, and then just a little bit to connect it. Stage two was, I thought, you know what, I'm going to build up that line a little bit more, right? And then stage three was, wow, like, could I do something that's a little bit like a smoky eye with just an eyeliner? This is just an eyeliner, okay? That's just an eyeliner. So that's what I would do, is I would just continue to sort of build it up. But what you want to do, right, is to continue having that beautiful almond shape. So when you build it, you're not losing that shape you've created. You're just building it up, right? And I can even take this corner, right, and build that up, go across and build it some more. See how the shape is, I haven't lost the shape that I originally created, and I'm just softening it as I go across, okay? And then, you know what, you can just clean it all up later on. Don't worry about it. You know, you can take a slanted brush and a little bit of even eye makeup remover and just like go around the shape. So that's what I would say for an everyday, moving into a little bit more of a dramatic eye with just an eyeliner, right? Here's another, okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this even more dramatic. It's all, at this point, it's kind of about blending, right? It's just about blending. And here's another thing I like about kohl eyeliners is they're very easy to use, and you're not going to have fallout. And fallout means when the powders kind of fall down your face, and then you're going, I've just done my foundation now. I've got all these specks and dots, and you got to clean it out, and we got to fix this area. As a general rule, today I did do foundation first just because I'm not expecting any fallout. But if I were doing a more dramatic eye, I always do foundation second. I don't do it first. And I do my brows first because it gives me, right? If I do my brows first, it gives me my end point for my eye design, right? So I know that there's that imaginary line. I don't want any shadows to fall down from there. And I don't want any eyeliners to fall down. But it's because my eyeliner, you see, it's still raising up. It's not dropping, okay? So... you know, could I do a full smoky with that? It gets a little bit much. I mean, we can do smoky on another day. So that's it. Any questions about that? Just eyeliner. Okay. All right. I'm going to move now to eyeshadow. Okay. And I hope my little niece is on here. She was one of the people that requested this. Hi, Regan. She's gorgeous. Okay. Now I'm going to, when it comes to the eyeshadow, you can use black, you can use a dark brown for an everyday look, you can use a plum, depending on what color of eyes you have. Some people with blue eyes like a plum. I don't know, I think it's kind of spacey looking. If you're going to have like dark browns with blue eyes, look fantastic, but that's color, that's something completely different. See a palette like this, there's black, that's dark brown, and we get into this beautiful sort of beautiful plum color. So I think I'm going to use, just for giggles, I'm going to use the plum one, just to give you a different look. So, what kind of brush would you use? A slanted guy like this, okay, would work well. you can use something that you want, something that's going to really allow you to get right into the lash line. This is a cute little brush too. I like this for, when I'm trying to create precision. But because the end, see how the end is really compressed? Look for a brush with a very compressed, do I need to do this ridiculousness that they do? See, oh, there. See how it's very compressed? Same with this little guy. Although it's a precision brush, it's very compressed at the end. It's not fluffy. If you have a fluffy brush, forget it. We can't keep talking. It's not going to work. Okay. I don't know why I just made that noise, but why not? I'm admittedly strange. Okay. So I'm going to dip in to, here's something I do. I dip into my eyeshadow. I don't know why I just did lips like that. Okay, so I dip into the eyeshadow on both sides of my brush. Can you see that? Then a lot of people just go tap, 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 and it goes flying through the air. What I'll do is I'll actually take the brush, and I like to just kind of press it in. Get the eyeshadow pressed in, so I don't lose all my product, but then I know it's not going to, it helps to prevent fallout. So what we're going to do with our plum is we're going to go right along the lash line again. I just took a little bit more, and I'm just like, again, I just like to kind of press it into the brush. That's just a FK thing. You don't need to do that. I don't like it. So I just, like I said, I'm not pulling the face. I just like to have my hand there for security. I'm going to go right along the lash line. Okay, and I'm going to take more. Now, generally with powders, okay, if you're going to do, if you want your powders to last longer, you should use an eye primer. I do like eye primers. And at a different time, I'll show you what they do. But they will grab the color, they make the color more intense, and they make your shadows last all day. Because right now, I'll tell you that this will still be here at the end of the day, and this one will have faded quite a bit. Pardon me. So get a shadow with good payoff. Just means like when you apply it, first of all, if you get a cheapy shadow, it goes down your face. Don't expect it to last. It's probably not good for your eyes either. Get one that has really, really nice color payoff. So when you swipe it, you can see a lot of color. So I'm going to take it. I got my brush, and I'm just going to go right along. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going right along the lash line. And especially for beginners, going along the lash line is great because first of all, you don't have that crazy gap I was talking about, and it's really easy to do. You're just popping along your lashes. Okay, and so let's continue here. And I'm just placing it and then doing a little bit of a dragging motion, just to move it along, because you don't, like, I'm placing it down, all right? And as I get here, it's no different. As I get towards this part of the eye, I'm not pulling the shadow all the way down. You can, it's just a different look, but it can kind of make your eyes look a little bit crossed if you're not careful with that. If you want to have a crossed eye look, then who am I to say? That could be the latest trend on Instagram, is how to look like you have crossed eyes. But you see how it's already starting to build. A lot of people don't give eyeshadow enough faith, but this is just eyeshadow. Remember, this was a kohl eyeliner. So you can already see it coming together. This is a lovely soft look for every day. Okay, and the color again I'm using is like a dark plum, because can you see? I have sort of a hazel eye. They look brown, but that's what it is. Okay, so again, I'm using the same rules on this side. Okay, so right to the edge of my eyebrow, picture your lower lid being the continuity. Okay, going straight up, and it creates an imaginary line. You do not let your eyeshadows or your eyeliners fall below that line, or else you're going to look sad or not smart or just tired. We want to avoid that. We all want to look smart and happy, right? Okay. And if you go too far, just wipe it away. Holy smokes, it's just eye makeup. Okay, so let's just keep going here. See how I'm just kind of just nicely tapping it into place. Okay. See how that's coming together. See how it's looking all that in a bucket of chicken. Now, if you wanted to leave it like that, you could. It's just eyeshadow. Put on some mascara and away you go. Okay, so can you see it's just a very soft line with a plum eyeshadow. Now, we wonder, can you build it? Can you make it look like this side, like more dramatic? Inquiring minds want to know, or I pretend that they do. Okay, so again, I'm going to do a little bit on the lower lid. Okay, so I'm going to just take it and go right close to the lash line. Okay, thicker, and then it fades thinner towards the middle of the eye. Okay, and you want it to really fade as you get towards the center. Okay, but you see how my eyes still look quite open because I didn't take the liner and go straight across, but I did put some on the lower. Especially when you're doing a smoky eye, you need to have something to, like, you need eyeliner or eyeshadow on the lower to balance the upper eye. It looks like you got these big dark eyes. Scary. Go for it. Who cares if you don't want that look? Okay, so you see, look what's starting to happen. The eyeshadow look is starting to look like, you know, the eyeliner look, which was, you know, a kohl cream. Okay, so are you guys all with me right now? Are we good? Like, yeah, brows, dude. Some of us need brow help now. Girl, not doing brows yet, but I will. Hi, Cash. Oh my God, Cash is just lovely too. And Linda. Oh, look at all these peeps. Okay, so could you leave it like this? Sure you could, right? So all we've done was we've gone from sort of thicker to thinner, right along the lash line, and then faded it downwards. And then I've taken a little bit into the outer eye. Because look, see how it just makes the eye shape more defined and popping. And again, we're going for that almond upward and outward look. Okay, so now I want to play more on the shadow side. Only using one product, and I'm only using one color. Okay, now keep in mind that if you put on an eye primer, this will build very quickly and you're going to have drama very quickly because it's going to catch the color that you put on. So I'm going to switch brushes now. Remember that cute little brush? I hate it when people say cute little. It drives me crazy. Remember the cute little brush? See how tiny that is? I mean, yeah, I have, like, you know, bulgy eyes, but I still want precision, right? So this is great for getting right into the corner and placing your eyeshadow. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Still using the plum. This is where it's going to get a little dramatic, peeps. Okay, so this was a nice little day look. Leave well enough alone, okay? Just leave well enough alone. All right, so now what we're going to do is I want to build up that corner, okay, just into the corner, and then I want to fade some of the color inward, okay? And this will create a little bit of drama. Now, I'm going to be honest, like normally I would have a base color, right? And then I would have sort of like a medium tone around the lid, like into the crease. And then these darker colors would be used predominantly for more shape and to really emphasize the eye. But I'm just having fun showing you, if you're in a hurry and if you're lazy, what can you do with just one thing, right? So, but one thing, but you should maybe have more than one brush for the powder side. So I'm going to go into the corner and I'm going to build it, okay? Just putting some shadow into the corner. Now, so you can see, you can just tilt upward a little bit because you want that crease to show. You want to be able to see your upper eyelid. So just lift your head a bit so you can get in there, because if you're straight like this, sometimes you can't see what you're doing. That said, I've got a lot of eyelid space, so it's easy for me to do this, right? I know that some people do not have this lid showing. And in that case, you know, you would start by putting this first bit of shadow in place and then keep your head straight, and you would actually go right on top of your lid and fill in that area with your eye open, looking straight ahead, so that you know where the shadow is going to land. Anyway, that can be something else. So you see that color starting to look a little bit intense, but don't worry, like, don't panic. We're going to fade it, okay? So again, what I do is I take that shadow and I just tap it down a little bit because I don't want fallout, right? And I don't want to lose my product. And I just go into the corner and I build up the corner. Right into the crease, okay? Right into, see, this is the crease of the eye, okay? I'm building right into it. Okay? You can already see a difference taking place. So we're just going to build that outer triangle, right? And we're going to stop applying the shadow, and then I'm just going to fade it inwards, okay? So you do it, you do yours, you do you. And I'm just going to be here doing my own. So building it with this nice little brush, okay? And I don't want it to travel too high. I still want to have that nice almond shape. I still want to have this kind of shape, okay? So then you can take a fluffier brush, like a blending brush, like here's one, like one like this. See how it's got a nice little end on it? And then go inwards, right? And just soften it. Soften it, soften it, soften it. So it does sort of matter where you first place that down. See that? Can everybody see that? Isn't that pretty? Again, it was a super dark color, right? And it's still giving me a good shape, but I'm just taking it and I'm moving it inwards. Okay. I'm also not doing this kind of crazy action back and forth, because what can happen, just say you're using a cheaper eyeshadow. If you do a lot of this windshield wiper stuff, you can get fallout from that. And also, you know, you want to have it going in the direction, right? It's so much easier, because if you have other shadows, they're just going to all blend together nicely, and you're not going to create a big mucky mess. You see me doing this because I tend to have a watery eye on the one side. Okay, so can you see that? That's just one color. The more you build up the eyeliner line and the more you pull the color across, you can start to create a smoky eye with the shadows much easier than you can with a cream eyeliner. Is everybody with me? Hi Kashi. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just for fun. I mean, that, you know what? To me, that is that's a nice basic eye makeup tutorial. So with this, we have a nice everyday look with an eyeliner. We built it out further. This would be a little bit more dramatic, okay? And then this would be like fun with eyeshadows, with just one color of eyeshadow, and it happened to be a crazy dark color, right? But you just take a little bit at a time and you work it and you blend it and build it, right? Less is definitely more in this case. So I'm gonna just have some fun with this right now. I'm gonna go a little cray-cray and I'm gonna build this out much more dramatically. And I promised you I'd only use one color, so that's what I'm going to do, okay? Lisa, contour, make my face fat look thin. Girl, you have a gorgeous face. And you know how many things can go wrong with contour? I've seen it all. Oh my God, I've seen it all. People coming in looking dirty, their face looking dirty, or it's like they ran into a wall or something. So if we really need to do contour, well, we can do that on another day. But this is not about contour today. Not about contour. Okay, so I'm gonna build it more. Keep building, guys. Let's see what we can do. And who's gonna see you? The cats, the dogs? Like, come on. Have fun with it. I'm just building it more and more, right? I'm just going right into the crease. Don't go higher than the crease though. Okay? And I'm still using that fun little brush for placement. Okay? And I keep checking in, right? I keep checking in. And then I'm going to pull it across a bit, build it up, and then pull it across. Okay? And I want to balance the upper and the lower. Okay? So I'm going to just take this and build that. Okay? And then we need to go back and just blend it. Blend it, blend it, blend it. See how I like to just go in one direction? Holy smokes! Look at that, people. Okay? Just one color. And I'm starting, and I'm putting my color here, right? So wherever you put the brush down is where you're going to have the biggest color payoff. And then we're just going across, right? Now, if I take a look, like this guy looks like it's going out more and up. So I just would extend the triangle out just a little bit, right? Just a little bit outward. I'm just checking in here. I don't want to look like a crazy person. Okay? And so, like, if you... Big deal. Like, you can do all the cleanup later on. Like, you know, just have fun with it. Boom. Okay? Are we finding this easy to follow so far? Just want to make sure that everybody is still with me. Okay? So this was a day eye that went dramatic with shadow, and this was a nice little eyeliner eye. Does anybody at this point, I'm going to check in to see if anybody has any questions. Okay? And again, I left this area open because it's bright, and I just want the eyes to really, really pop. Okay, so I'm going to continue on this one, and I'm going to build this sucker up to be like crazy, crazy, crazy smoky. Okay, and this is a plum, and that's black for anybody just joining. Okay, so let's just build this sucker up. Building out that corner. And you know, when you hear of like things like smoky eyes, depending on your eye shape, you can go from dark to light or from dark to light. Different ways to do smoky eyes. So this would be sort of like building a smoky from dark to light. Everybody has a different degree of what they call smoky as well. What's the best color to use for brown eyes, Leslie? That's an excellent question. Brown eyes are neutral. Brown eyes can basically use any color they want, the little show-offs, right? Brown eyes would pop with blue. Brown eyes look nice with plum. Brown eyes look different, like they look good with different types of sorry, I just got distracted. All different colors for brown. Like brown is neutral. You can wear anything with it. Blue eyes tend to look better with the brown spectrum, or sort of like the goldeny browns, depending on what color. And also you have to watch too, because not all browns are created equal. So you might have a cool tone brown or a warmer brown. It's kind of whatever goes best with your skin tone, right? Because they don't all look great. You know, if you wear something too warm and you have like more of like that pinky undertone, it can just look off. Okay, Christy, I would do a wing, but I don't think this one. I'm just going to keep really, really simple, because a wing is a tutorial unto its own. Okay, so question. All right, so I joined partway through. What's the best way to keep your eye makeup from creasing and smudging? So I don't know if you mean an eyeliner or just the eye makeup in general, right? So it's you have to prep the eye ahead of time. So first of all, make sure that the eyes are hydrated with an eye cream. And then if you use an eye primer, when you're using an eye primer, one thing to be careful of, a lot of people will just rub it on with your finger, right? But it's hard to know how much product you're actually getting across your lid. I like to actually blend it in with like a brush, so I can see what, like I can feel that it's you know, like with a synthetic brush, I'll actually take it and really like smooth it around so that, you know, you don't get a bump in it, because an eye primer can be your best friend, and it can also be your worst enemy if you don't realize you put a little bit more in one area, then you're going to have this dark patch. So an eye primer can help making sure that the eyes are hydrated by using a proper eye cream. And also, you know, you can do after you do, like the eye primer, first of all, is going to hold everything into place. It really, really helps. Or you can do a light dusting of a shadow. If you tend to get a lot of moisture in the upper lids, you can do an eye primer and then dust it a little bit, just very lightly, with a little bit of a setting powder, right? And then your eyeshadows will glide on top of it really nicely. It won't be so intense, but at least, you know, it shouldn't crease, and it should stay longer all day. I hope that helps. Does that help? Do I have a favorite brand? And I don't know what you're referring to exactly, hun, with eyeliners or with eyeshadows. A lot of brands make really good stuff. Today, the kohl pencil I was using was it was one of the little Sephora guys. And with liquid liners, I would look at the tip of the liquid liner, but we're not talking liquid today. I'm not going to get into liquid too much, because you know what, I'll do one separately on liquid liner, because that is a skill set unto its own. But when you're looking at eyeshadows, you know, just dip into them and see if they have a natural fallout. You know, what I used to do is I even, like, for something like, you know, like there's certain powdered highlighters, I would take them and I would just put them on my hand and just rub, and they would just fall to the ground, and it would drive me absolutely crazy. So, you know, pick products that are a decent quality, right? Look at kind of what's in them as well, because you can get a lot of cheapy products that, I mean, e.l.f. is a cheapier product, but, you know, where are they made, what's in them? You know, you have to consider your eye health as well when you're picking products, but, you know, these are really achievable, right? It's just, you know, the key things to keep in mind. Oh, you know what, Sonia? That's my cousin in the Philippines. You said you have to buy more brushes. So just something about brushes. If you were just going to buy a couple of brushes, so I love to have an angled brush, right? And again, that's what I did to do the eyeliner. I love to have ones that are like this, right? These are the flat ones, and again, you could use these under the eye, you could use these for the eyeliner. Really, really multifaceted, right? See how little that guy is? I'm going to show you in comparison, like a typical brush that you would see for just applying, you know, your base shadow would be one like that. Look at the difference in size of those two guys. That just puts it into perspective, right? So it's great to have a little precision brush. I love to have an angled brush. I love to have one to sweep my base color across, right? And I would sweep a base color across like this, one like that. And then it's nice to have a crease brush. Now, be careful. Like, you've got to look at the size of your particular eye area, right? This one, you know, I've got googly eyes, like a bulgy eye area, so I can actually get right into the crease, right? And just blend across softly. You can get smaller ones though, like, you know, if you have a smaller eye area and you want to feel like you're really in control of your eye makeup, like, look at the difference in these two, right? And this is still going to get right into the crease, right? And it's going to blend the eyeshadow across. So don't just pick any brushes, just look at your eye shape and you know, and ask whoever it is that's helping you, what size of brush should I use for my eye? But you can sort of tell by just looking, right? There's another brush I have here. This is a Donna Me brush. This one is awesome. Look at the angle of that sucker. Love it, because you can actually take it and go across and blend an eye look right up into that the upper crease. So, you know, I mean, if I could only have, I would say, if I could only have 4, I'd pick my little slanted guy for eyeliner. I would pick one for sweeping across your base shadow. I would pick one for precision, and I would pick one for going into the crease. Is this helpful, people? How are we all doing? Okay, we can do, because I got a special request for eyeliner. Mom, Q-tips. You want to use Q-tips for your whole eye look, girl? Fine, do it. Have a good laugh. Q-tips you can use for cleaning up your messes afterwards, right? Don't worry about like if it goes down, blah, blah, blah. Have some eye makeup handy, eye remover handy, and then just go into the corner, right? And just use your little precision and just, you know, clean it out. But, you know, this looks like a lot more than it is, but you know what, on this eye, I didn't use a primer, so it won't last all day, but I didn't use an eyeliner. This is just a plum, like I showed you before. It's this, it was just like a deep plum colored eyeshadow. It's working it slowly, like going across first, doing a little on the lower lid, and then just working the outer corner, and then building it and pulling it across. Okay, so like I said, I don't want to go on too long. My first tutorial, if you didn't watch it, it was just some of the basics, and it was focusing a little bit more on foundation. And so this one was it's responding to a specific question just about eyeliners. So if you have any questions, you can, you know, pop them into the, like right now live, or you can watch this later, but I'm happy to answer them. I hope this was helpful, okay? And have a wonderful afternoon. And again, this is Steph K here. So I am a local professional makeup artist. And so I do bridal, and I work in film and tele, and I do a little bit of everything. So happy to help you out. And it's been my pleasure to do these things for you guys. And I hope you're all taking care of yourself. Leslie, thank you for joining me. And, you know, pop up your pics and let's see how you fared. And if something wasn't clear, just post it below and I can follow up with you guys on what wasn't clear. Okay? Love you guys. And please take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves, because we're doing all this so that when we can open the doors and be out in public, you know, you got to look nice at the hockey rink and when you're at the grocery store, right? Like, you got to know how to do these crazy looks. So this is all really important stuff. Bye, guys. Have an amazing afternoon.